Daniel Hayes had always believed abandoned places held secrets, but nothing prepared him for what he would face inside the Shadow House. Located at the edge of a small American town surrounded by dense forests and endless fog, the house had been abandoned for over 30 years. Locals warned everyone not to go near it after sunset. Some said the walls whispered at night. Some said the shadows inside moved on their own. But Daniel didn't believe in ghost stories. He was a photographer, a realist, someone who captured forgotten places for a living. On a cold October evening, Daniel parked his black SUV in front of the rusted iron gate of the Shadow House. The wind felt sharp, carrying a strange smell like burnt wood mixed with old earth. The sky was dark. The moon was hidden behind thick clouds, and the trees surrounding the house swayed, as if warning him to go back. He grabbed his camera, adjusted his flashlight, and walked toward the broken front door. With every step, the wooden porch creaked like bones snapping. Daniel took a deep breath and pushed the door open. It groaned loudly, echoing through the empty halls. The air inside felt heavier, colder, like stepping into a different world. He raised his flashlight. Dust floated in the air like tiny ghosts. Walls were covered in dark stains, mold, and strange scratched markings. His camera clicked as he took pictures. As he looked through the lens, he noticed something. Odd shadows in the corner of the room seemed to move slightly. When he lowered the camera, they were still. He thought his eyes were playing tricks on him. As he stepped deeper inside, the house groaned as if releasing a long-held breath. Daniel entered the living room. Furniture was overturned, and old family portraits hung crooked on the walls. He wiped dust off one of the frames. A family of 4 smiled, back a man, woman, and 2 daughters. But their eyes in the portrait looked unnaturally dark, almost hollow. Daniel's flashlight flickered. The room dimmed for a second, and he heard something soft footsteps upstairs. He froze. The house had been abandoned for decades. No one should be here. He aimed his flashlight at the staircase. The steps were broken, covered in dust. No footprints, no signs of life. Yet the footsteps continued slow, dragging, almost hesitant. Daniel's heart pounded as he took a step forward. "Hello," he called into the darkness. His voice felt swallowed by the air. No reply. The footsteps stopped suddenly. He swallowed hard and continued exploring the first floor. In the kitchen, rusty utensils lay scattered on the floor. Cabinets hung open as if someone had searched desperately for something. The refrigerator door had huge claw marks carved into it. Daniel leaned closer. The marks were too deep, too wide to be made by any animal he knew. The back door slammed shut behind him. He spun around, shining his light. But there was no one, no wind, no explanation. Sweat dripped down his forehead. He stepped backward slowly, but the shadows in the room seemed to stretch longer, reaching toward him. His phone buzzed. A notification? He checked it. No signal. Battery draining fast. Only 8% left. Something was very wrong. He moved toward the hallway when he suddenly smelled a faint scent of lavender. It felt oddly familiar, warm, comforting. He followed the scent, thinking maybe someone was living here after all. But as he stepped into the dining room, the smell vanished instantly. Instead, he heard whispering. It started faintly. Just one voice. Then 2. Then many. Dozens of whispers coming from every direction. They layered over each other, forming a disturbing chorus. He couldn't understand the words, but he felt their intent. They wanted him gone. Daniel clenched his jaw and shouted, "Who's there? Show yourself." His voice cracked slightly. Suddenly, the whispers stopped. Total silence. A suffocating silence. The chandelier above him swung slowly as if someone had just brushed past it. His flashlight flickered again. He shook it, but the light dimmed and brightened unpredictably. He turned round and froze. In the far corner of the room, where the darkness was thickest, something stood motionless. A tall shadow. No face. No body details. Just pure, dense darkness, shaped like a human. Daniel rubbed his eyes, thinking it was an illusion, but the shadow didn't move. didn't fade. It simply stood there, watching him. Daniel raised his camera and snapped a picture. The flash lit the room for a split second, and in that moment, the shadow figure was suddenly inches away from him. Daniel stumbled back, gasping. The figure wasn't moving naturally. It drifted like smoke, trying to form a person. Its head tilted strangely, and two faint white dots glowed where eyes should be. Daniel ran out of the dining room, breathing hard. His footsteps echoed strangely, as if the house had grown larger behind him. He reached the hallway and leaned against the wall, trying to steady himself. That's when he heard it. A child's giggle. Soft, playful. Wrong. Daniel swallowed and turned slowly toward the sound. A little girl stood at the end of the hallway, facing him. Her dress was torn and dusty, her hair long and tangled. But what made Daniel's blood turn cold were her eyes, completely black, like bottomless pits. She whispered, "Are you here to play?" Daniel backed away. "Stay back," he said, voice trembling. The girl tilted her head. Her neck cracked loud, unnatural. "We don't like strangers in our home," she murmured. Daniel turned and ran into the nearest room, slamming the door. He pressed his ear to the door. Silence. Then scratching. A slow, rhythmic scratching against the wood, her nails dragging along the surface. His flashlight flickered again. His phone buzzed. He checked the screen. A message from an unknown number. Asterisk, asterisk, don't look at the shadows. They watch back. Asterisk, asterisk. Daniel's hands shook. Someone or something was warning him. Suddenly, the door handle twisted violently. Daniel stepped back. The lights in the room dimmed. The shadows on the walls began stretching upward, forming long, distorted limbs. He shouted, "Stop!" But the shadows crawled toward him, moving like liquid darkness. Daniel dove toward the window, pushing it open. The cold air of the night rushed in. It humped out, landing roughly on the wet grass. Pain shot up his leg, but he forced himself to stand. The house behind him moaned. Windows rattled. The front door swung open slowly, as if inviting him back. But Daniel wasn't going back. He limped to his car, breathing hard. As he reached for the door, he noticed something in the reflection of the window behind him, standing on the porch of the house. The tall shadow figure. Its eyes glowed faintly. Its arms stretched unnaturally long. It didn't move. It didn't blink. It simply watched him. Daniel got into the SUV, turned the key, and nothing happened. The engine clicked, but refused to start. The battery was dead. He slammed his hands on the wheel. "Come on! Start!" Through the windshield, he saw fog creeping across the yard like fingers reaching for him. The shadow figure stepped off the porch. It didn't walk, it glided across the ground. Daniel tried again. The engine coughed. Struggled. Caught. The SUV roared to life. He hit the gas and sped down the dirt road. His heart pounded as he glanced at the rearview mirror. The shadow figure stood in the middle of the road, growing taller as the headlights faded behind him. Daniel didn't stop driving until he reached the main highway. When he looked back, the road was empty, but something still felt wrong. The air in the car felt colder. A presence lingered. He pulled over and grabbed his camera to check the photos he had taken. The last picture made his blood freeze. It was a picture of him inside the house, taken from behind. But he hadn't taken it. In the corner of the picture, a long shadow arm stretched toward him. His phone buzzed again. A new message appeared. Asterisk, asterisk, you shouldn't have left. The house remembers you now. Asterisk. Asterisk. Daniel looked into the rearview mirror. A shadow moved in the back seat. He wasn't alone.